something that comes up from time to time in any number of cases, both of drugs and alcohol impacts a case and how that can negatively affect any number of those four scenarios: a civil case, a probate case, especially a family case, or a criminal law case, and how to best be proactive and deal with those. You got to remember, in a criminal situation or in any litigation situation, the court's going to weigh several things. One, what kind of drug was it? If it's a controlled substance that falls within those penalty group, the higher penalty groups, which is essentially any kind of concentrate, marijuana, concentrated THC, DAPs, waxes, etc., methamphetamines, and other synthetically manufactured drugs, ecstasy, Molly, whatever, those types of synthetic manufactured drugs, those are a big red flag. The amount of that prohibited substance you had in your possession, what you did to hide it from law enforcement or the opposing party. What other types of illegal substances, if any, were on your person at the time of the incident giving rise to this either arrest or litigation scenario or criminal charge, allegation of that this client has a problem with sobriety. And then, of course, past is always a factor, a big factor, and other illegal substances obtained at the time of this seizure, if it's a criminal case, and more, what weight, concentration, and then of course there's the issue of how pure was this product, how much weight, how many times it had been stepped on, was this essentially distribution grade or a distribution amount, etc. Now, some of you may remember the governor passing into law the Sandra Bland Act of 2017. It was a critical piece of legislation, and essentially what it did is it put some protections in place for people with depressive disorders. Depressive disorders are a big problem, these invisible injuries, and that has a lot to do with why drugs and alcohol get abused in our society. Not everything to do with it, but a great deal. And these drugs and alcohol, they can manifest themselves in ways, but in Miss Bland's situation, which was very tragic, she got pulled over. She was pulled over. The investigating officer and Miss Bland got into a heated argument. It escalated. She was in jail for what is essentially a fine-only offense, and she committed suicide in jail. And what the legislature did to correct that, to course correct that, is many things. One of which is to recognize and put into effect a law that made some affirmative progress towards protecting those with depressive disorders and mental health disorders who are jailed.